Maja John Madden, right by the lagoon at the waterfront and the big harbor in Veracruz, Mexico. I just made some videos about policing, and especially Latino police, who tend to be wonderful overall. But I want to tell a story about a really great, and Latino cops in Texas tend to be great. But I want to tell a story about a standard white old-time cop in Texas who was by the book and almost did bad things to me and finally could not. It is true, the Republicans are making a big deal now about progressives saying that police departments evolved from renegade slave patrols. I think that's accurate, I think that's true. And it still is true that the primary function of a lot of police departments is to make sure the poor and black people don't get out of line. And if they did not spend so much time answering mental health calls or running poor people or homeless people around, their funds could be cut quite a bit, a lot. And some places are pioneering the use of mental health, that 911 calls don't automatically go to police. I was in Texas. I spent a year in South Texas, and I was on my way to Galveston, but I was in the middle of nowhere in a little town in what the summer of 22 was the hottest summer on record. Now 23 busted it. And a little white sedan is like tagging me. He's right at my heel on my left side on an expressway and just sitting there. And I got pissed off. Like, who is this asshole? So I hit it, and I was still driving my, I was driving my current van, which doesn't have superpower. But I took off. And the flashers came on, and he pulled me over, and he said, "You change lanes without using a signal," which would, I think, almost never be enforced in Mexico. They've just got better things to worry about. And then you sped away. You broke the speed limit. Why'd you do all that? And I said, well, this joker was tagging me back there for no reason I could see, and I just got irritated with him. And the guy who really was a good guy says, "Oh, I'm a joker now." And I said, "Oh," I didn't say "oh fuck," but I thought, "Oh, that didn't work." But I'm driving because back in North Carolina, I left the area with 2 moving violations, one of which I had never been informed about, and the other one, it was chaos time. It was COVID. I was a new lifestyle, traveling in a camper van, trying to adjust to huge spiritual changes that were going on in me. And I had blown a stoplight. And because I was moving so much, I never got the summonses for court dates. And I was in Louisville, Kentucky when I got a call from a very nice woman, Buncombe County Sheriff's Department, saying, "You missed court dates for 2 moving violations. Your license has been suspended." And I sure wasn't going to go back to Asheville, but that's the only way I could have gotten it fixed. So I ended up not able to renew my insurance, not able to renew my driver's license or my tags. So I was triple threat. And all through South Padre Island for the 9 months I was there, that department knew I was illegal, and their stance, and they were all Latinos, almost all. Their stance was, "Would you please cross the border and get into Mexico where we don't have to do something to you?" And Mexican cops, they are much more about serve and protect, and they're working class guys, but a lot of women these days, and they don't want to do something bad to a poor person. No, they identify with them. I have never, out of many stops, probably 40 or 50 stops in 2 years in the U.S., 2.5 years in the U.S., never has a cop asked me, "Do you have money?" They'll find out I don't have any money, which at the end of the month I never do. But I've never had a U.S. cop say, "Do you have enough food?" But Mexican cops ask that on a regular basis. They want to make sure you're not going to starve. One guy dug in his pocket and pulled out an American $2 bill. He said, "I'm sorry, that's all I got, but have some breakfast." But this cop in Edom, I want to say Edom, Texas, I've got it in my record somewhere. He's agonizing. And the wrecker has arrived to tow my car away. He says, "I'm a Christian. This is going to ruin you. So much unbearable heat. It's going to leave you homeless because this is your house. I don't know what to do, but I have to. I won't put you in jail, which I'm supposed to, but I have to impound the car." And the wrecker driver was twiddling his thumb saying, "Will you give me the order to just hoist this thing?" So he goes in, and the cop goes and sits in his cruiser for a long time. I bet it was 7 minutes. And then he comes back and he says, "Okay, here's the deal. Look me right in the eye, because I want you to hear exactly what I'm saying to you." And he had already asked me earlier, "Do you have a friend who could drive?" I said, "Chicago." It's going to take a long time to get here. So he knew I didn't. But he comes back, and I realized as he was talking that he's on the wire, everything's being recorded, because as he's saying this, I want you to look in my eyes. His eye gets twitched, and I'm going, "Why is that?" And I went, "He's winking at me. He's trying to say, I don't really mean what I'm about to say." So he says, "I'm going to let you be. You do not drive this car illegally. Wait here until someone with a driver's license shows up to drive the car. Will you promise to do that?" Wink, 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 wink. I said, "Yes, sir, officer. I absolutely will stay right here." He says, "Okay. Have a good day." And I immediately made a tape for a friend and said, "Lee, you won't believe how funny this just was. I really, really thought I was ruined." And he just couldn't do it. He was a genuine Christian, a real Christian, do unto others and the Good Samaritan and all that. He couldn't do it to me. He just could not do it, and I bet he's not a rule breaker. I bet he very seldom breaks the rules, but I bet he slept good that night. Yeah, God bless that man.